Hello and welcome to the DC Stewart Show Podcast. I'm your host, Derek Stewart, along with my kinfolk, Isaah and Najee, and we got us a special guest today. Major League Soccer analyst. He's an expert at soccer, in my opinion, and we're going to be picking his brain today to talk about Major League Soccer and the Major League Soccer playoffs, because they're just right around the corner. Right now, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 teams vying technically to get to that semifinal, or should I say get to the finals and play each other for the Major League Soccer Cup. And that's a big deal. I mean, people talk about the Super Bowl and people talk about the NBA, but Major League Soccer has a trophy of their own, and it's very, very valuable. The fan base that loves soccer and around the country and around the world, because one thing is for sure, soccer is a worldwide sport. It's just not in the United States. It's all over Europe. It's all over South America, Central America, and we will be picking Gus's brain today. By the way, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, because we're always looking forward to bringing you better topics, fam, because we bring you better topics. The algorithm is better for us, and then it just expands out. We have our social media on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and we're really kicking some butt on TikTok, by the way. I can brag on that. And we really hitting it hard on YouTube as well. So just make sure you follow us and like us, because that matters the most. I'm going to go ahead and unpack things. I want to bring in Isaah right now and see what's going on with him first.
Well, hey, man. Welcome aboard, Gus, man. This is something that we'd love to do, myself and Najee and DC. Been knowing each other. I mean, DC and I have been knowing each other since we were like 4 or 5 years old. We grew up in the same block in Miami, man. And it's been amazing how he transitioned in his early teenage years and went to Atlanta. And we stayed in contact when we didn't have the cell phones and all that stuff.
That's
we
right.
used to write each other. Yeah, man. It was amazing. Not that kind of
Not that kind of love, right? We got to clarify that, because we don't want anybody to misunderstand what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, they might think I mean, nothing against people who do rainbow, but we ain't got a rainbow. I'm an orange and green and 305 guy. Yeah, man. Yeah, we've been knowing each other all our life. We knew each other's family, his grandma, and he knew my parents and my brothers and my sister. Man, we've been knowing each other for a long time, and we started all kind of different businesses and we were going to do together, and then we just stayed at it, man. And I encouraged him when he had girlfriends and stuff, when he met his wife and all that stuff, and I saluted him for it, because it was amazing, man. But yeah, that's how we hooked up. And then, of course, Najee came aboard with us last year, and he's been a really, really helpful as an asset to the show. And
Absolutely.
Now we're doing really well with him on there, because he knows so much about basketball that I want to tell you, I can't begin to know.
I'm telling you, he can think basketball in his sleep, by the way. Najee can't.
Oh, man.
So anyway, let's go on to Najee and see what you got going on, Najee. How you doing today?
I'm good. I don't know how the weather is over there with you guys, but it just drastically changed on me, man. I almost put a hoodie on just to do the show, bro. And when I woke up this morning, you tell me why it's 49 degrees, bro. It don't make no sense. Yeah, but I'm super psyched, ready for the Patriots to beat down on the Jets today. And of course, we have a good Gus here. Welcome to the show, bro. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much, gentlemen.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm going to just go straight into introducing Gus. I met Gus maybe a little bit under last year, and me and him hit it right off. The energy was good when I met him, and we just started talking sports, and we just started talking about a bunch of different things. And one thing I found out that Gus is heavily into soccer, which is, to me, we've been talking a little bit about soccer on this show, and we've been wanting to get someone on for a while that knows about soccer, because we want our soccer fans, and we want people who follow the soccer nations to, join us on this show. And Gus is going to bring that to us because he's going to be a regular analyst for us. We'll have him back on this show, especially if he wants to come back on here.
Absolutely.
And
Anytime, brother.
Absolutely. And one thing I found out about Gus is Gus lives in Miami too. So we'll have him go ahead and introduce yourself, Gus, and break it down to us before we get into the topics, because the topics we got today is really hit home topics. So welcome aboard and tell us a little bit about you and your soccer experience and all of that.
And I appreciate very much. It's nice to meet you guys. And it's a pleasure to be in your show. And it's nice to meet you guys. I was a semi-pro soccer player for 6-7 years. Then after that, I was playing soccer here and there. But I've been a soccer fan since I was like, I remember. I mean, I follow like Spanish, the Italian, the English, and then forever. I'm a Latino, so I've been following the South America, Central American. So soccer's been in my blood through the years, my whole life. And I'm glad to bump into Stewart, and then we started talking about sports, and then I bring him up to him about soccer, and he said, "Okay, let me try it, and we'll figure something out." So I'm here. Hit me with any questions you guys have, guys, and then I'll be willing to be in the show as many times as I can.
Absolutely. Like we said before, we're excited about talking about soccer. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Let's get this party started, and let's get on to the first topic. So the Major League Soccer playoffs has already progressed to where it is now, and it looks like the Major League Soccer Cup playoffs, we got 4 teams here. We got Philadelphia and New York, and we got Miami versus Cincinnati on the East, and we have San Diego versus Vancouver, and LA versus Minnesota, I believe, on the West.
It's San Diego, Minnesota.
Oh, it's San Diego, Minnesota.
Yes,
and LA and Vancouver. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so those are the teams that are going to be vying to play for the Major League Soccer Cup. Mm-hmm. And that's a big deal because some of these teams have already won the Major League Soccer Cup, and we're familiarizing ourselves with those teams. Mm-hmm. I'm looking here at some of the layout of the soccer, and soccer is growing. Soccer has been around. They basically kicked that league off in 1995, between 1995 and 96. So it's been 30 plus years, technically consistent, that these teams have been playing. A lot of teams have been added on to Major League Soccer, and then you have 30 teams in soccer as well. It's 32 teams in NFL, and then you have 30 teams in soccer. So that expansion has exploded around the country. They have teams in places like Orlando, Austin, Texas, and places like that they have for Major League Soccer franchises, and the growth is still happening. It's still going on, and their expansion, I don't think, is finished yet. So one of the things I wanted to ask, and I'll start out with you, Gus, is tell us a little bit about some of the soccer teams, for example, LAFC, which is LA Football Club, because I know LA had the Galaxy forever, and then they did that expansion, and the LAFC soccer team plays at BMO Stadium. And just tell us a little bit about your experience with the Galaxy and the LAFC team.
Well, Galaxy has been here since 1996, since the league started it. But they were up and down. I mean, they was the only team on LA. And I think it was the 2015, they made a Chivas USA. They are a new team. So I guess it didn't work out for them. And the league bought the franchise, so they made it LAFC. So they rebuilt them from the bottom. They did no longer play in the Rose Bowl. They did no longer play at the Galaxy's team stadium. So then they make before they used to call the bank,
okay,
California. They just barely changed the year about a year or 2 years ago to BMO. So we had a franchise player, which was Carlos Vela. They had Max Krepal. They have a lot of Salvadorians and some Honduran players. Most of them, they were like draft players from the college players, and then they were growing and growing. Thank God, luckily, on the 2020, we got our first championship. We lost 2 straight conference championship against Seattle Sanders, and finally 2022 we beat Philadelphia, which Philadelphia has been one of the strongest teams from the East Coast area.
Okay.
Strong, solid. They have a big program there. And honestly, like they just won the Supporter Shield. That's what it's called. The team that makes the most points on the whole league from the 30 teams. So that tells you how strong that team is.
Right.
And they have gone to 2 championship games, I believe so. So it gives you the idea how strong the program is. They're always on top. Cincinnati came really strong.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati is one of the latest franchises with St. Louis and I believe so. What's the newest one? The newest one is San Diego, which San Diego is the strongest one right now on the West Coast because they finished first. Then was Vancouver. There was LAFC. So I believe San Diego has the record for the newest franchise who makes over 60 points. We made 60 our first year, and then they have 63. So they have that record on them. They made 63 points through the whole league in the first year. So they have a really, really solid team, though.
Okay.
And Vancouver just start claiming, they were climbing because they were like between they were like a middle team, but they make a really good team, and then they killing it. They end up in second place. So we have to face them on the 22nd for this is the semifinal. So if we beat them, we have to face either Minnesota or San Diego. So it's gonna be tough. Trust me. Even the surprise team is Minnesota. Nobody would think that Minnesota was gonna beat Seattle Sounders. Seattle Sounders is a different team. Like in the regular season, they can be there. They're the middle. They can go from the 8th to the 5th, but Seattle Sounders transform 100%, 360 degrees change when they hit in the playoffs. Strong, pretty strong. They get pretty strong. They, like I said, they beat us twice on the conference championship. So that tells you a lot about their team. It's really pretty solid team though. So and on the East Coast, that like I said, you have Philadelphia, you have Cincinnati, you have Miami that has you cannot ask for more, to be honest.
Better playoff, right?
Absolutely. Right here, if you ask me who's gonna win at this point, everybody have a chance.
Yes.
Every single team have a chance.
Kind of like a toss-up scenario, right?
Absolutely. Very tough. I see the teams, and then if I want to say LAFC, of course I would say the LAFC. But if they do, it's not gonna be easy at all whatsoever. I can guarantee you that. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. For whoever wins, I hope LAFC do. But for whoever wins the championship, it's gonna be tough. It's not gonna be easy. I can tell you that.
Absolutely.
New York, I think New York is like the team that nobody thought that it was gonna get so far. Because last year, I think the Red Bulls lost the championship against the Galaxy. So the New York teams are there. They're there.
So, Gus, I have a question, and then Isaiah is going to ask you a question, and Najee is going to ask you a question. My main question to you is, which is the most important position on the field for a soccer match, either on offense or defense? I would personally say the goalie, but just tell us where you think it makes a difference in a game, because I watched the World Cup and I watched Argentina play France. And we'll talk a little bit about the differences between international soccer versus U.S. soccer, but what is the most important position on that field for you?
I believe it is the midfielder, because in the midfield is when everything starts. You can break a play, but you can build the play from there. So everything starts in the middle. That's why the midfielder, it's, if not the most,
Mm-hmm.
the second most talented player on the squad,
Mm-hmm.
because either you can build and you can destroy the game. That's why they have the offense middle, the center
Mm-hmm.
midfielder, and then is the center defender middle, which it helps to destroy every play they're gonna start. They're gonna grow from the middle. But I gotta tell you that if the goalie make a mistake, any team can lose the game. One mistake the goalie makes, the game is over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The forward can miss 20 chances, and then he score once, he can win the game with that.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, where everything starts, it's on the middle.
Mm-hmm. And that's good information, because a lot of time I'm always looking when they get on to one end, whether it's offense or defense, they're trying to defend that goal or they're trying to score on that goal. And to me, it makes sense to start in the middle. It makes all the sense in the world. When you say that, Isaiah?
Yes, I was gonna say that, but I remember playing soccer as a kid, and you know, we just randomly playing, and then we always tried to get the most lean and elusive person to play goalie, because he can be quick enough to cover that little area, that box area for the goalie. But one of the questions I have for you, Gus, is the fact that right, South Florida being like a heavenly community with the Caribbean, where there's Haiti or Venezuela, all these different Caribbean countries that surrounded South Florida. And then for a while, the city of Miami didn't have a soccer team. They had one in the 80s, and they went away, and it was like a drop from about 2 decades before they brought back Inter Miami. I thought it was genius for Beckham to come here and lobby these politicians to get a stadium. They're building a stadium right now, but then they would play in different locations just to get the team going. But then when he went out and got Messi, and it was a huge growth for the team by being so young to bring Messi in here. So how smart you think that was for him to go out and get Messi, a guy who everybody knows he's paid him a ton of money to bring him in here. It just changed the whole outlook of soccer here in Miami. How smart you think Beckham was to do that?
Let me tell you something. I was surprised till the day of today. I was surprised. I remember the team that it was called, I won't forget, it was the Miami Fusion.
Yeah,
The
I couldn't
Dolphins
think
at
of
the
the name, but
Dolphins
the
Stadium.
Miami Fusion. Yeah,
So
they played in the Orange Bowl.
there is like a big community of South American people, Central American people, like from
Yep.
everywhere. Like, you're talking about, like, I'm surprised that the team wouldn't do it as well as they didn't do, because there was a lot of talent, a lot of people that were looking for opportunity. Now,
Yeah.
and then probably you have to understand that it was an issue because it wasn't owned by a different people. The MLS at that time was owned by one person, so he will buy, let's say at that time it was 20 teams, and he will buy 20 well-known players. So he will divide them from team to team, so every team will have a franchise player.
Superstar. Yeah.
But correct. So that's what I'm saying. Now, when Beckham came up, he said he was a midfielder. He was a game maker. So he said, I have the vision, I got the money, and guess what? He got the connections. Why? Because he's European. Where the most talented, I don't want to say all the talented players, the most talented players, where do they end up? They end up on England, Germany, Italy, and Spain. He was England, so he knew the whole market.
Yes.
So he understood. He played. He was popular. He was, he had everything he wanted. And then he came up with the game plan to say, let me bring Miami back up to the light. And what did he do? He brought a team. He actually have maybe, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 Argentinian players. They play, actually 3 of them won the last World Cup, which is Messi, the coach Macherano, and what's his name? I forgot. This new player, I forget his name. He's a midfielder. They just won the last World Cup. Now they have Jordi Alba. They have Sergio Busquets. They play on the most glorious chancellor of FC Barcelona from Spain. And then they have the goalkeeper Ustari. He's Argentinian, but he has a reputation as a good goalkeeper, as a great goalkeeper. So he built something, and he also has, we cannot say like a Suarez, the more conflicted player, but one of the best of all times from Uruguay. So he got what it takes. Now remember, great teams have a bad night. They might have one bad night, just like any other sport. But like the project that David Beckham came up with was like the game plan was amazing.
Yes,
because
it was amazing. He got here and he knew how to and who to talk to get money to build the facility, and he didn't bow down to the politicians here, which I thought was really strong on his behalf, because he looked for several different sites. Broward County offered him so many different locations to build that soccer field, and they offered him tons of money and the land for it. But he didn't settle for anything, man. He wound up going back to Miami, lobbying with them, got together with the mayor and commissioners and stuff like that. And they put in this stadium over where a golf course used to be off of Lejeune Road and like 20th Street. It's right near the airport. So the location is great, because you have these arteries of expressways to get you away from the facility. That was one thing I thought was great when Joe Robbie decided to build Hard Rock Stadium. It was the Joe Robbie Stadium at the time, but it was so many people was trying to get him to build it down on 36th Street and like right off of Biscayne, where they had a lot of the containers where container. But he didn't want that, because it was going to only have that one artery, which is the MacArthur and 112 sit there. So by him having it here in Miami Gardens, you got 75 going west. You have the Turnpike, and you got I-95, all these major arteries. Then you, of course, have University. Will take you in the ballot, because the biggest fan base for the Dolphins and the Canes, for instance, is Palm Beach and Broward. Dade County is right there too, so they wasn't worried about those fans. So it gives you a great way to just disperse after the game is over. So the thing with Beckham having that thing right there, even if you flew into the game, you got a lot of hotels there. You got
that's true at Miami International Airport, right? Yeah, so it's
I feel the
perfect area.
This kid was a little bit too far from the downtown.
Right. Because even the Orange Bowl was perfect for the Dolphins, but it was like obsolete then, because most of the parking you had to park in people's yard and all that kind of stuff.
True.
So now it's a beautiful facility up there where the Dolphins are. And one more follow-up question with that, Gus. In the inner city, I think they need to promote soccer more because a lot of folks are understanding, the young adults are realizing that it's CTE with football and the injury sustained ball players in soccer. I think soccer is one of the best sports imaginable other than tennis because you got that constant run, you got that constant cardio, and if you look at them, they all are in shape. You don't see a
You
soul
don't
on
see
the field
any
when you
out of
watch
shape soccer players. At
nobody.
least I have never witnessed one.
Not even.
You
Yeah.
find one. If you find a fat ass, he's not starting. He might be the coach.
So
yeah, the coaches play with him. Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. And Isaiah, you brought up an excellent point about David Beckham coming to Miami and bringing a team back to Miami, because I was reading here and it looks like there's two brothers that he invested with called, one of them's name is Jorge Mas. He's chief executive officer of Mas Tech, and they're two brothers. They both graduated from University of Miami, so they're very familiar. They're Cuban Americans, and they're very familiar with the diversity in Miami of South America, Central America, and then the European flavor that's popped in there. And man, you couldn't have asked for a better franchise to be in Miami, along with bringing in Messi. I mean, Messi is the one game changer for that franchise. And when they came out here last year, it was sold out. I mean, the game was sold out over at LAFC Stadium. I mean, I passed through there and there was people everywhere trying to get in that game. So that is a good point, because these Moss brothers, they're I would say that they're almost billionaires because, Jorge Mas Canosa, both of these guys are running a Fortune 500 company, and it's a big deal to everyone, in Miami. And soccer just needs to be promoted more, I think. And they need to promote soccer more in, I would say, junior high school on into high school, and really just kind of focus on getting it to the level, and it'll never get to the level of football and basketball of any of the sports, but they could still promote it and make it very viable. Wouldn't you say that, Najee?
Stuart, let me tell you this. The thing is, it's being promoted through the years, though. The thing is, they wouldn't want to take the tradition of baseball, basketball, and football. So that's why they try to put soccer on the side.
Mhm.
They knew that once they hit in it, it was gonna pop up, and that's what it's doing. Look, they bring in like a lot of franchise players, which is like, let's say for Miami, they have, like I said, they have Messi, they have Sergio, they have Study, they have what's the name, Jordi Alba, and they have the other Argentinians. So they have a bunch of players. Let's say, for example, Vancouver was doing pretty well before Mueller came up. Mueller, he retired from the German national team, and he left Bayern Munich to join Vancouver. Now LAFC has Buanga. They have Hugo Lloris, the one who lost the championship game against Argentina, the last World Cup. But the previous World Cup, he beat Argentina for the World Cup. They have Sonny, the South Korean player. So they're bringing all these players that before, what their culture was, bring old players, famous when they were not in their prime, when they were on their way to the back door. Now they're bringing them on between when they still had good level. So that's what increased the interest for investors to invest more money on it, buy franchises. Some of the teams are not owned by the MLS anymore.
I
Some of
see.
them has independent owners. So that's what brings the curiosity of it. Like, because LAFC was bought by the MLS, but the group of investor, which was Mia Hamm, what's his name, Magic, and some other actors and famous people from LA, got together and they put LAFC together.
Oh, I didn't know that. So Magic
Yeah.
Johnson is involved in that team as well.
Of course.
Okay, wow.
Magic is involved in
That
so
guy
many
knows
different,
everything.
yeah, football, basketball, baseball, you name it. He's involved in it. And to remind everyone about Mia Hamm was on that USA national team for women's soccer, and she was sensational when she played.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, she was
one of the greatest.
exactly. So yeah, Mike Farrell. Well, was it Will Ferrell or Mike Farrell? I think Will Ferrell. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So my question to you, Gus, is I was really interested when I was watching the World Cup and Argentina playing France. This guy's Emiliano Martinez. Is he playing in the major league or is he playing over in Europe?
He's playing on England.
He plays for England. Okay.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
So he's in a professional league in England. You know, they have teams like Manchester United and all of those very popular teams. I mean, famous teams over there.
He's playing in Europe. Majority of them, they're playing in Europe. Like
that's where you make most of the money, though, right? I mean, they pay more money in Europe.
Let me tell you, depends on the country that you live at. Because I follow a podcast from a Mexican podcaster. He interviews some very, very popular players, and guess what? They would say like, I would go down 20-30% of my salary in Mexico to go play in Europe. So a lot of players do that because that's that's where they're gonna be able to see you. That's where you're gonna make the money from.
Absolutely.
If you expose yourself, if they wouldn't get out of the country, they were not gonna get as much as we can get exposed on Europe, and then your national team wouldn't call you, so you will get exposed in an international tournament. So that's why they make the decision to lower their salaries, because let's say, let me tell you a name of Guillermo Ochoa. This is the Mexican goalkeeper. He's the Mexican goalkeeper of all times. He left from Mexico to Europe, to France. The team, it was called the Jazzhill FC. So he said he had to lower his salary by 35% because he wanted to get out of Mexico. He wanted to get exposed in Europe, overseas. So he did that, and then he was called by the Mexican national team. He was appearing in every international game from Mexico. So then he went to play to Italy. Now I think he's playing on Greece, I believe so. So they did that. They lowered the salaries to get out of their country because they were not gonna get as much exposure that they're gonna get in a different countries, though, especially Europe.
Yeah, I know the two most famous teams in England is Chelsea and Manchester United. Those are two really, really popular teams. And I mean,
right now, let me tell you, on England right now, there's no small team anymore. There's no small team anymore.
All of those teams are good.
Now Chelsea, what's called Manchester United, Manchester City, the Bolton Wanderers. There were a bunch of them. There was a bunch of them to mention them. Right now, on especially on the English league, there's no small team anymore.
I believe it.
I can tell you that.
It's very competitive, right?
Very, very competitive. There's no teams there anymore.
Absolutely. So, Najee, you got any questions to ask us?
To be honest, I thought Isaah was going to tap onto it. I was like, oh, so don't tell me he's going to do it. But I've always said that the two top teams, two top sports, you have to be your fittest, like swimming and soccer. Like, what type of training y'all do to stay in shape and to perform at the highest level that you do?
Most of it's condition, strategies, and teamwork. You have to run a lot. If you're big, if you buff, you lose a lot of speed. You gotta eat well, you gotta sleep well, and you gotta take care of your body. I mean, you don't have to be in a diet, but you have to. They make you take care of your body to see what you eat, what you put into your body.
It's important, very important.
Absolutely, very very important. And then it also had to do how hungry you are to be what you want to be at. I think that's the most important thing. That you get as far as you want to go.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Because also soccer has a lot of competition, so it's a lot of competition. So you have to you have to give your 1,000% every single second of a preseason, every single second of a game, every every single second of a practice, because you don't know when they're gonna need you. And then if you fail to do what you should be doing when they give you the opportunity, maybe that opportunity don't ever gonna come back again. I can tell you that.
So absolutely, absolutely. So Gus, I have a question for you. Just give us an idea about the tailgating and the lifestyle of someone who follows soccer really, really close. I mean, the tailgates that I've witnessed over at LAFC during those games has just been phenomenal. I mean, I come through there and I see people having a good time and they're cooking and they're eating, and everybody's wearing black and gold. Is the tailgating an exciting part of the soccer game as well before you even start watching the soccer game?
They call it like Black and Gold Nation in LA. I think it's the supporter group is a family. It doesn't matter what group of you from, it's still supporting the same team. So what they do, they just everybody's welcome,
Mm-hmm.
welcoming to come, and then we invite you. We try to have a good time. Get all the drinks here and there, to have a good time, and then to go inside a soccer field to cheer for your team, to be there for your team. We sing to the game starting to the game end.
Mm-hmm.
We chanting all game long. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
that's
I'm gonna have to check one out for sure next year, next season when soccer starts. I'm gonna make it a priority to come and I'm gonna tailgate and I'm gonna go to the game and because I want to see for myself all the excitement. Then when I'm passing through there and watching people go in after they've tailgated and had a good time out in the area outside the stadium, it's just so it looks like it's so much fun because they play right in front of
it is a lot
the
of fun. I can
Coliseum.
guarantee you that. A lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. And once Miami, I'm gonna go ahead and try to set it up so when Miami comes back out here next year, technically Isaiah and Najee can come out here and watch. We can all watch it together when they play
Let me know, guys.
LAFC.
Let me know, guys.
I know they don't play too often, right? Because LAFC is a West Coast team and Miami's the East Coast team. Do they play often? Twice a year, say?
I think they do it every other season.
Okay.
It depends. It depends. It depends. Miami did not come this year, but it came last year. But since there's multiple tournaments, which is the Leagues Cup, uh, the US Cup, and then the MLS Cup, it can be the CONCACAF International. So there's multiple tournaments, but they can face each other. So on the MLS, I can guarantee you they're gonna play maybe once a year or one every other year. But in the other international tournaments, I can I can guess if they're gonna face each other. Any other. It can be like I said, it can be in the Open Cup, the US Cup, or the CONCACAF.
Mm-hmm.
The CONCACAF is international, which there's Central American teams, the Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
Mexico, US, and Canada. Those are five. And the US Cup is only from semi-pro to pro league. And the Open Cup is between Mexican teams, and U.S. teams.
Okay.
How many games
Mucho
they play? I
tournaments.
don't even know how many games they play per year. How
Well,
long is the
the
season?
on the MLS, it's 29 games. If you play internationally, depends how far you get. For the U.S. Cup, let me see. If the thing is, depend how far they get. If they, let's say they make it to the semifinal, they're gonna play 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 36 games.
Oh, that's
Sometimes
good.
when you, yes, and then
Basketball season.
right, right, and then when you go to the CONCACAF, it's a group. There you play 3 games. Talking about 7 games. So, but the thing is, the the farther you get, the harder the teams are playing. So it's a lot of more work, And this is different teams from different countries, so you don't know what you're gonna face up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you play the MLS teams, you know what you're gonna face. But when you play international teams, you don't know what you're gonna get yourself into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's very
Gus,
important.
we talked about how healthy these players are. And
Mhm.
I noticed that Beckham played for 21 years from 1992 to 2013. That's 21 years.
That is a long time.
That is a super long time. And what I love so much about it, and he looked fantastic when you see him. He's still in shape, look like he's still taking care of himself and eating right, apparently, right now. But
He was a
how
superstar.
long other players last, the average expectancy of a soccer player in their career. How long is it? Because like in football, it's like 5 years. It's the max of
It's
the
the
age of a
max.
football player. Yeah.
But let me tell you, the thing is, remember football, American football, it's a contact game. You're always in contact. Soccer is more strategy. You don't have too much as a contact. Now, the question is great because it depends on the position. The goalkeeper, the older he gets, the better he gets. The defender, the older he gets slower.
Mm-hmm.
But he getting more smarter. He knows how to time in the player because he studied you. So they get a lot of experience. They might have run, they might have run as fast as when they were 29 versus 32. But they
Mm-hmm.
run a lot less because they study the players for so long that they know what they're gonna do. Now the midfielder is the one that takes the hit. They hit you. They kick you a lot. They hit you a lot. When you're a midfielder, especially if you're an offensive midfielder, they hit you a lot. I can tell you that. So that guy can be between 34, 35 years. Maybe their career can be between 15 to 20 years max. The forwards is the one that lasts the less because they're getting older, they're getting slower. The reflexes are not as fast as 5 years before. So I believe they'll be between 32 to 35, the older ones. And all depends how you take care of yourself also. Majority of the time, the goalkeepers are the one who last the longest.
That makes
Because
sense.
Hugo Lloris is 42
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah, the
Got less
goalkeepers,
contact and less
they have
running.
much less
Less.
contact. They have to do certain things, but they don't have a lot of people kicking at them and stuff like you just explained some of these other positions. Because I know I remember a time where you had to wear strong shin guard if you were playing soccer because what those players would do, they cut you off
Yeah.
and they kick you in the shin and that was it. I mean, your season could have been ended with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Now, remember, the technology nowadays is very important, but it plays a good role and a bad role. The good role is that you recover faster. What people don't understand is the fact that you're more fragile after you come from the injury because let's say you're ankle injury will last, let's say, a month.
Mm-hmm.
Now you'll be back in 15 days, but you don't know how fragile your muscle or your ankle is. You know,
Yeah.
so when when you get injured again, and instead of being a month, it's gonna be 2 months and a half. Why? Because you were fragile. The doctors did not know that. They said he's ready to play. They put you in. You injure yourself, and then your season can be over in any given time. So that's what I'm telling you. It's good the technology came up because they forced the muscle to recover faster than what they used to.
With technology.
Nowadays, correct. Before
Okay.
it was 2 months, you were off 2 months. So it will come either the same way, if not stronger.
Okay. So I have an additional question here about soccer because I always see the officials and I want to try to bring the officials into this fold right now.
Mm-hmm.
So officiating in soccer is subjective, just like officiating in any other sport. I'm very interested in the red card. When they pull out that red card, what does that red card mean? And what does it mean for the team whose player got the red card? And do they get fined money just like in the NFL, or is it anything similar to that?
It depends on the foul. If you do it with a bad intention, they find you and you get suspended for the normal red card, direct red card. It'll be 2 to 3 games. But if you go with the bad intentions to injure somebody, it can go up to 6 to 11 games.
That's a lot of games out of 20 plus games, right?
Suspension? That's a suspension?
Correct. That's
Oh, wow, that's a lot of money they'll lose then.
Absolutely.
That's not a team itself or that's a team suspension or the league suspension.
It depends. If it happens on the local league, it only gonna apply on the local league. If it's in international games, it will only apply only international games, unless the team appeals and then have them paying for every game, no matter if it's international or local.
Right.
But that's
Right.
the judges to decide if they're gonna allow you to do that. Now, when you get double yellow card, when they give you 2 yellow cards, it's automatic red card. So when you get 2 yellow cards, the third one is gonna be, let's say, for example, you foul once, they give you a yellow card. There's a warning. The second, the yellow and the red right away.
Okay.
And that can be
The red is supposed to be the most severe punishment.
absolutely yes.
Yeah.
Yes, some of it
Okay.
can be direct red card. It goes from 2 to 5 games, like I said, depending on the foul.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, the team can appeal. It might work out for them. It might don't. It depends. Like I said, it depends how much the aggressive you're going to, and with the intentions that you have to injure the player. Maybe some players, there's some questionable plays, and then it happens. It just happened by accident. So
Yeah.
they study the play. It's outside referees. They study the play, and they don't see no bad intention. They said, okay, you know what? You got a red card. We're gonna give you 2 games. But when they see you with bad intentions, you're gonna elbow somebody, kick somebody without a
Yeah.
ball.
Yeah.
They can give you between 5 and 6 games.
Okay. All right. One last question with that is, does officiating impact games? Which I think that's a crazy question to ask, but can officiating decide within seconds the outcome of a game? Because I know in basketball it can, I know in football it can.
Oh, yes. In every sport, the game is not over until it's over.
Right. Okay.
The game is not over until it's over. If the ball is still rolling, you still have opportunity to win or lose or tie the game.
Okay.
Until the referee don't call the whistle, the game is still rolling. The ball's still rolling, you still have opportunity. So that's without a doubt. You die on the line, like they said. You die, they die on the line.
Absolutely.
Hey, Gus, to your knowledge, do you know of any of the heinous type of betting in soccer like it is currently with basketball and baseball? It's been a huge tarnish on the game with these players and coaches of betting on their sport. And now it's like a situation where you don't have that sacred
Mhm.
part of the fans knowing that this athlete went out there with every intention to win the game, as opposed to like it was, I mean, for the last 20 years, it's been a drop. Well, baseball got a huge hit with Pete Rose betting on the game. And then the moment it got to the point where it leveled off, where they thinking, oh, this is a legitimate win, here it is where now they're claiming that these guys was alluded to like betting on these games. So right now they're looking harshly at the Dodgers because they're claiming
Mm.
and trying to pull the
Mhm.
Dodgers back because they're trying to figure out whether the Dodgers had any involvement with betting. So to your knowledge, have you ever known that this kind of ordeal was going on with soccer as well?
I
Let
know
me
with
tell
the
you.
Cleveland Indians, they just came out on ESPN and they were talking about a pitcher and several pitchers, and they weren't involved with the Dodgers. I know the Dodgers name did surface, but I know with the Cleveland Indians, the supposedly allegedly law enforcement said these pitchers were throwing pitches in the favor of betting. I mean, to enhance people's opportunity to bet, and then they have outside, organizations like the mafia and different crime syndicates that are involved in a lot of this betting and online betting. And that's a great question, Isaiah. By the way, I'm glad you asked that one.
Let me tell you, Isaiah, that has been through the years in every sport. I can tell you that. I can guarantee you that. But it happens mostly on the national teams. A lot of players have been kicked out, have been banned for life for doing that. On the I think the South national team from El Salvador, someone from Guatemala,
Mm-hmm.
and a few teams from Africa. For national team, majority of them on La Liga, the Spain league,
Mm-hmm.
ban a few players. On actually Juventus from the Calcio from Italia, they have taken it to the third division because they got caught up. They were shaving points. They were paying the teams to win that because they won 6 national championships right after the other, 6 straight championships, and they got caught shaving points. So it happens everywhere. I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. It happens in every sports. That some people might bring them out because the leagues or the countries are not as big as they are. But when you play, like I said, La Liga or Calcio or the EF and German, anywhere you can imagine, it happens. But it happens majority on the national teams,
Okay.
to be honest.
Okay. So let's move on to this next topic, and this is a final topic before we close the show out, Gus. I want to ask you who are your top 5 GOATs of all time in soccer. It doesn't necessarily even have to be Major League Soccer. It could be worldwide. Who is your top 5
Man.
GOATs of all time in soccer? Name them off for us, 1 to 5.
Oh shoot, damn man, why you gotta do this to me, man? I can say
Any era, just
Yeah,
any of
let,
your
let me
top
let
players.
me let me
Yeah,
let
Doesn't
me
matter.
give you mine, and then you can bounce off of mine. First of all, I'll say Pele was one of the best soccer players ever to play the game. Diego Maradona was one of the best soccer players to ever play the game. David Beckham was one of the best soccer players to ever play the game. And I could just say even in modern times, if you look at some of these players from the worldwide thing, I'd say Kylian Mbappe from France. So you just bounce off of those and tell me which
it's
is
an
your
animal.
favorite.
That guy's an animal. That guy's an animal. Mbappe is an animal. Let me tell you, I always tell people, it's tough to define the best players because, like you mentioned, Pele, he played in like a very like physical era. Maradona, he was growing in the technical era. Mbappe, it's more condition and tactics and everything. So it's tough to say it, but if you ask me as a personal, have obviously Diego Armando Maradona.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Alessandro Del Piero from Italy. Jürgen Klinsmann from German.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Cristiano Ronaldo, but he's one of the greatest. You gotta give it up to him. And Leo Messi. Like, I mean, the thing is,
Yeah.
in every position, I can mention it.
And you know what? I could easily swap out Kylian Mbappe and Messi. I like Messi, so I would think Messi would definitely fit into that mold more so because Messi is so much more popular than Kylian Mbappe. You don't hear about him a lot as much as you hear about Messi, but Messi is definitely. I have all the respect in the world for him, as well as Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, who's out of Portugal. So I just wanted to kind of get your take on some of these players because I know you're looking at the old guard with Diego Maradona, and you're looking at Pele, and then you're looking at these new guard players, right?
Yes. And it is tough because they play in different positions. Like in a goalkeeper, there's a lot of great goalkeepers. There's a lot of great midfielders, a lot of great and I forgot to say Ronaldo, the phenomenon. So it's a lot. It's tough to be
Absolutely.
really, really tough to have a top 5. If you give me a top 10, I can be more explicit and show you expand it a little bit more. But top 5, it's really tough. It's really tough.
Okay, so do this for me, Gus. Send me your top 10, and we'll put that top 10 on to our web pages and let the whole world see your top 10 GOATs of all times. Because like you say, 5 is not really fair because, I should have named Messi in there and some other players as well. So 10 does make more sense to me, just like it makes more sense to everyone.
I said Pele, Maradona, Alessandro Del Piero, Gianluigi Buffon, the goalkeeper from Italy, Anthony Zubizarreta, he was a goalkeeper from Spain. What's his name? Romario.
I remember Romario from Brazil, right?
Yeah.
Remember him.
Yeah, Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, Brazil.
Ronaldinho. Like I said, you cannot leave Cristiano Ronaldo out of that
Absolutely.
equation. He's one of the greatest.
Absolutely.
And like I said, Leo Messi. It's like I said, it's. And I'm talking about like a lot of players, and I'm leaving behind like maybe 15 more players. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
guys, it's funny that. Well, I was going to mention it's funny that all the players that you guys mentioned in terms of being the best, they are the highest paid as well. Because I
absolutely.
And all these guys you just mentioned are the highest paid as well, so they're getting compensated for their talent. Yep.
Of course.
Yeah, it looks like in Major League, Lionel Messi, the 20 million and a half. Sung Hung Min is for LA, 11 million plus. Sergio Busquets, 8.78 million. Miguel Almiron, 7.87 million, and Irving Lozano.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these guys are making some big dollars. So
absolutely.
So yeah, we'll close.
We'll on top of the game.
Yeah, Absolutely.
They're making that much money for a reason. Trust me, I can tell you that.
I believe it. I believe it. So we'll close this show out. We thank Gus for coming to spend time with us. We really appreciate you and all of your insightful, information that you gave to me, because I learned a lot from you just this day, and I appreciate everything, because I know me and you have talked before. Isaiah and Najee appreciates it as well, and we would love to have you back on this show, especially when these 4 teams get together and then they get 2 teams to play into that championship. We'll have you back on to make some predictions on who possibly can win.
Yeah. Who do you think? Who you guys think is gonna go first for the conference, and who do you think is gonna go like for the national championship?
Well,
who do you got?
Well, for me, I'll pick Philadelphia out of that game, and I'll pick Miami. It'll be Philadelphia versus Miami, and then it'll be LA versus San Diego, I think. These are my picks. So,
Okay.
Definitely.
What about you?
I'm not familiar with all those teams, but I'm a biased guy. I'm a 305 guy.
He's a 305 guy.
So I kind of stick to everything 305, and I'm pulling for Miami, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Got to pull for the 305. How about you, Najee? You don't have a specific pick?
Nah, not really. But if you want to go east and west, I'm gonna pick Miami, of course, because that's where I'm born and raised, and then LA, because I respect the Kobe. I represent everything in LA.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna do it that way.
We can't wait to have you out here to go to a Lakers and a LAFC game, as well as a football game as well, Najee. We can't. Those days are coming, so just stay tuned for it. So we'll close this show out. We thank our special guest, Gus, for joining us. We'll be doing another show on Saturday covering some college football, and then Sunday is going to roll in. And we have our every Monday morning sports recap weekend where we stream live on Monday. Thank you for joining us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And I'm going to have Isaiah close it out for us quickly, and Najee, and then I'm going to have Gus.
All right. Well, great, man. Welcome aboard, Gus. We really enjoyed your insight and your knowledge, and it's a wealth of information that I've did not know at all, man. And,
Absolutely.
And trying to learn this thing, because I just see how many fans love Inter Miami. Everybody's wearing their Messi shirt, even little toddlers barely can walking around with a Messi shirt on. And it's a beautiful situation here with the stadium being built, and the amount of fans from all over the world that's living in this city and to enjoy this game. So it's a pleasure. But I want to ask everybody to continue to watch us, and we coming at you with some beautiful guests constantly, and enjoy the week and stay warm, because we got this fluctuation of weather, and I can hear people coughing and catching
Absolutely
sniffles because of the weather change. So take care of yourself, everybody. Yeah.
How about you, Najee?
Yeah, peace and blessings, love, God, because he definitely gonna love you. I'm gonna have to co-sign with that soccer thing, because even when I went to Biscayne Boulevard in Miami, everybody had their Messi shirt on. I stopped by Sports
It's huge.
Sports Champ, and I'm looking around like, these shirts go hard, man. I said, I might buy one. So my girl was like, you don't even watch soccer. I said, I know, but these shirts are kind of hard though, man. I want to get one too.
Well, they are some very attractive jerseys, being pink and everything. And I want to say, I'll just throw it out there. I believe Lionel Messi's jersey is probably the number 1 hot selling jersey in soccer.
By far. It's not even
By
close.
far. Yeah.
Not even.
What's funny about it, DC, most people wasn't, especially men who were trying to be macho, they don't like to wear pink, but they walk around in pink.
They walk around in pink down there, and it looks good with a pair of blue jeans on, or even black jeans. It looks really good. But you know what? I got to sport my LAFC, man. I live in LA. I'm a 305 guy, of course, but I got to put, and Gus has the hat on already, so I got to support that LAFC club out here with that black and gold. So anyway, Yeah. So Gus, thank you once again, brother. We appreciate you, and we will definitely have you back on this show.
Thank you, Stuart, for having me here, guys. I appreciate it very much, and I'm glad
Thank you.
you guys, let me.
We learned a
share,
lot.
Soccer culture.
Absolutely.
I was super nervous today. I didn't know what to say.
Well, you did a fantastic job. You didn't seem like you were nervous whatsoever to me. I mean, listen, you good. Hey, you good at this, brother.
Yeah.
I've been thinking the whole time, man.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. Join and take care of your health. Take care of your mental health and your physical health. And like Isaah said, it's cold season, flu season. I feel like I'm coming down with something, but however, I'm fighting it right now. But anyway, we'll see you soon. Take it easy.
Brother.
See you soon.
Take care of each other, man.
All righty. Take care.